Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sit Down presented by Visa, and we are joined today by Vancouver Whitecaps and Canadian men's national team star Ali Ahmed. Ali, great to see you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you.
We're excited for this conversation with you. We have so much we could cover for club and for country. I suppose we should start with the former, because while there were a lot of things from the 2024 season to get into, bit of a shock in Vanni Sartini's announcement, or the announcement of Vanni Sartini's departure from the club, and the fact that heading into this new year, you've got a new boss, a new gaffer, and that's Jesper Sorensen, of course. I know you guys have been in Marbella, Spain, training, getting ready for Champions Cup, for Major League Soccer. I guess for the supporters' sake and for our own curiosity, how have those first few weeks been going, from getting to know the new gaffer to the philosophies he wants to implement to learning how to implement them?
Yeah, it's been a very solid 3.5 weeks to start preseason. Just implementing the coach's new ideas and how he thinks of the game, and I think everybody's responded well. Everybody's came in with a lot of excitement to see what he has for us, and I think we're looking good. I think everybody's enjoying it. We worked really hard. We had some good results against some of the teams we played down there, and we're really excited to see how it will translate, to MLS football and the Champions Cup.
Ali, I know that as a professional footballer, being cerebral, being adaptable, and being able to take on these new challenges and styles of play is just part of the job. But I'm curious, as you do move from one style to another, we hear things like dominating possession, how Jesper wants to move the ball a certain way and retain that possession and really attack. But as a player within that system, how have you found the adjustments, and how do you think your style of play is suited to it?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, I think, a big thing for him is, dominating the possession side and, just running less when we have the ball, and being calm and patient when we have the ball. And I think that's one thing. I think, we have the players for it, and we're I think we're looking smooth in training, because it's something that, we've been excited to do. And for me, I think it's going well, because even defensively, he's someone who's really intense and really wants to repress when we don't have the ball, and I enjoy doing that. I enjoy pressing. People say I can run a long time, so yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's going well for me, both sides of the ball.
I would be remiss not to ask you, just for a quick reflection and a look back. There's no doubt it's always difficult. It's always sometimes shocking to move from one coach, certainly that one who on the outside in front of the media was charismatic and very personable and very passionate. You could feel that in Vanni Sartini. I'm just curious sort of what your reaction was to the news, and perhaps more importantly, on a personal level, what type of impact did Vanni have on your career and where you are currently and where you'd like to be as a footballer?
Yeah, I think it was tough for everyone, and including me for sure. Vanny and I feels like we've been together for a very long time, and he's someone who's really helped me a lot to where I am today, from second team days, from bringing me into the second team, and also bringing me up to the first team. And it's someone that has been my guy since I've been here. So of course it was definitely a little tough for me, and but it's time to move forward. You can't dwell on the past too much, but yeah, I think it's definitely a little personal for me with Vanny, for sure.
And without knowing the relationship, how could I? It just seems like the type of football mind, but also the type of man that's going to remain a cheerleader of yours for years to come. And that must make it a little bit easier to say goodbye to someone who clearly had an impact on you.
Yeah, for sure. Just his vibe around the facility every day, you feel it. His energy. Everybody feels it. And I think that was one of the biggest things that he brought. His energy and his vibe was different, and it was contagious, with everybody in the building, not just the players, with staff. You see the effect he has and the influence he has on everybody here. He really tries to make everybody happy. So definitely, just like he's still rooting for me, I'm still here. Definitely, we'll keep in touch with him, and rooting for him to excel wherever he goes next, and I know he will.
And Ali, there's no doubt that the Sartini era in the Whitecaps will be one that supporters certainly remember for a long time, even once the recency kind of fades a bit, because of all the things you were able to accomplish together, namely those 3 consecutive Canadian championships and really asserting Vancouver Whitecaps as the top club in Canadian football. And I just wonder how these last 3 years have been as you've grown, as the club has grown. Obviously, there's always expectations and there's a desire to push the ball, raise the bar even higher year in year out. But those 3 years under Sartini, what you're able to do, and especially those Canadian championships, must just have been a pretty special time for you and the boys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, in these past 3 years, this club has taken a massive, 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 massive step in the right direction, and I think Vanni was a big part of it for sure. And I think when you look at the three clubs in Canada, I think we've been up top for the last couple of years, and winning 3 Canadian championships is just another testament to that. And I think we want 4, but I think there's still another step we can take in league play, and I think we need to go further in the playoffs and bring and take the next step, which is the MLS Cup. And I think we've taken the right step towards that, but now I think we really got to take that next step.
And LA football, as you know better than I certainly, is constantly about improvement of, yes, but evolution, staying with what's working in the league, what's working in the game, how to try to use your skills to be more dangerous in different ways. And that's all tied into having a new style of play, something unpredictable for the opponents. But it's also going to be perhaps a little unpredictable to the supporters at the beginning because they need to learn it, they need to see it, they need to experience it. So if you were to maybe describe to the Whitecaps fan, and there are so many excellent ones, what type of team this is going to be and how you want to go attack those goals, pushing for an MLS Cup, pushing for a 4th Canadian championship, what's it going to look like on TV or at BC Place?
Um, Intensity will be there for sure, and on the ball, I would say just beautiful football, just good football, picture perfect, possession and intensity and work ethic will be there for sure. I think that's the 2 biggest things for us.
Well, the first time that we'll get to see this sort of football, this new Vancouver Whitecaps identity, is of course against Deportivo Saprissa, the Costa Rican side you'll face in the opening round of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. I've asked some of your teammates this question. I'm always fascinated to hear from everybody who has an opinion because everyone's got a bit of a different vantage on it. But with this CONCACAF experience that you guys have earned by winning the Canadian Championship so frequently lately, what have you discovered about what it takes to be competitive and win in this tournament? Understanding it's early in the season, understanding it's against different types of opposition. It's got to be a unique Rubik's Cube to try and solve.
For sure, it's the Champions Cup is different. We had a different experience with when we went down to Honduras. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be the easiest. We know it might get a little chippy. It might get a little nasty. And yeah, it's different, especially when you go away. I think we got to be prepared for that. It feels just much different than the league. So I think we're prepared for that. It's good that we have the experience of Honduras under our belt. So I think we understand what it'll take, and I think we'll be ready for it.
Well, we're with Ali Ahmed on the sit down presented by Visa, getting to think about and talk about the CONCACAF Champions Cup and the Canadian Championship as well. So, three in a row, remarkable on its own. But this year we go, and it seems, Ali, every year the tournament's looking or feeling a little bit different just with the unique challenges and opportunities that present itself. And this year, you guys are the only club to get a bye because we have another club entering the tournament, a fourth League One Canada club that comes in, and that's just going to be a new element to this tournament. I'm curious. I know you guys are very, very busy as professional footballers, and I'm sure sometimes in your downtime, maybe you're not quick to watch football. Some of you might be. Some of you might just want to throw in some Netflix. But when you're watching this tournament, seeing some of these new League One Canada teams or the CPL clubs and the MLS clubs, when you're not playing in them, how have you enjoyed watching the tournament and being a part of it as it's grown over the years?
I love watching it. I watch a lot actually. I was once in a lot of those players' shoes, and I know a lot of the players going into some of these competition is for them it's bigger than just a soccer game. And even I have a couple guys that I know that might be competing in it, so and I know talking to them, the excitement and the joy they get of being in this tournament, and just watching Canadian soccer, just seeing the growth of it. It's lovely to see, and just being a part of the tournament, being a kid watching from the outside, from Toronto, and being a part of it now, and just don't forget where you come from, right? So I definitely tune in and love to see the growth of Canada soccer.
It's remarkable that even just this week, Ali, as I'm sure someone who admittedly watches it will know, Cavalry goes and beats Pumas at Starlight Stadium, and you think like that's another notch in the belt for this developing nation that you get to so proudly represent and try and stay in that conversation with Jesse Marsh. That's kind of where I want to take that conversation now. But the pride, I'm sure, is obviously there for all of you guys, and you can tell when you watch you either in the stands or on TV. But with what has been in front of you guys and what is still to come, Copa America last year, rolling into a Gold Cup, rolling off the back of a Nations League final, and then the big show, the World Cup. Just do you ever have these like pinch me moments that you are living this as younger Ali probably would have been loving watching it and just dreaming of being a part of it?
Yeah, for sure. I can't lie to you and say no, but yeah, definitely for sure. Just being a part of all of this, it's a dream come true, and but sometimes also, you get so locked in the moment that you kind of forget, you kind of forget about all of that, and I think it happens to a lot of us, and I'll definitely say I'm a victim of that too. Sometimes you just get too locked in that you forget, um, you forget, the blessing, honestly.
What would it mean to be I mean, I'm sure in your case and all of your colleagues' cases, the desire to be one of the people holding that trophy, lifting that trophy, but you get a crack at it in a month, you get a crack at it again in a few months after that. To have one of or both the Nations League trophy or the Gold Cup, just what do you think that would say about how hard you lot have worked and the players who have since retired in this generation, the transitional time into what a lot of Canadian supporters, and I'm sure you guys hope becomes an era of dominance. What would that mean, that visual of lifting those trophies?
Mean a lot. You mean a lot. I think we're all like, as competitors, you want to win trophies, So we're definitely looking at those tournaments and thinking trophies, but for sure we know the steps we've taken as well. But yeah, for sure, as competitors, the only thing we're thinking is trophy and win, and what it will mean for our country, and how far we've come, and like you said, the people before us, paving the way, for this game to grow, in our country, to be where we're at now, playing in a semifinal, playing in the finals, and lifting a trophy for our country. It's definitely on our mind, and I think I hope we'll be able to do that.
Well, lastly, Ali, and I'm not going to be the type of interviewer who's going to ask you if you're the favorites or if Mexico and the U.S. and the rest of CONCACAF should be afraid or take note. But how about I ask you a relatively simple question, but one that I'm sure you've thought a lot about. Is this group, as it's currently comprised, capable of lifting these trophies? It's one thing to dream it, it's one thing to believe it. We see how hard you're working, but now into 2025, is this group capable of doing it?
Of course. I think, just what we did in Copa, I think, it brought a whole different belief, not even to the fans, but to ourselves, just to show ourselves, like, like, yo, guys, we're up there. We competed with the best, so it brought a different type of belief and confidence to ourselves. And I think once you have 26 guys, including staff, all believing and driven to chase the trophy, I think it's definitely doable. And like I said, the success that we've had since Copa, it's brought a different type of confidence and belief to us. And I think that's a big step for us. We needed that to show ourselves that we can compete amongst the best. And I think we can definitely do something.
Well, Ahmed, it's been a joy to watch you, whether you're playing for the Vancouver Whitecaps or you're representing our country. We thank you for your time today, and we wish you all the best in 2025. It's been great to have you on the Sit Down presented by Visa.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for having me.